All right then, Craig here again, sitting in my Kitfox, just showing you how my Forflight program works. Not my Forflight program, but how Forflight works for me. So in a couple of weeks, I'm going to be planning a flight. This is my home base right here, which is Port Severn on the water. Airplane's fitted with skis right at the moment, and I'm planning a flight to the Wilcox Lake area down in Richmond Hill, which is down around here. So Lake Wilcox, I'm going to say direct to, and if you look carefully, Wilcox Lake right there. I was there the other day working on a machine up in this area here, and I went down and checked the conditions out on the lake, and they're beautiful. About 2 feet of ice and about 12 inches of snow on it. It's absolutely perfect, and not too much in the way of ice fishermen. No huts out there, maybe one hut I seen. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make that flight, but I just wanted to show you here. So all this is Class G airspace up in this area here, which means that I can, fly pretty much anywhere. Now, when I get into the Toronto area, and if I get within, let's say, within this diameter here, you see here, this is part of Toronto's area. But if I get higher than 6,500 feet above sea level, which I won't, I'll need a transponder with mode C, which is altitude encoding, which I don't have that, and I don't need it, because I'm not going to be at 6,500 feet. I'm only going to go to about 4,500 feet. And as I go down closer to Wilcox Lake, along Cook's Bay here, you'll see that there's a military, or a correction, a restricted zone. They do parachute dropping there. I got to watch that, not get too close. There's an airport right here, Barrie, really. I'll probably be within 5 miles of that, so I'll have to, stay fairly high to get by that without any interference. And then as I come down here, there's the Hall Landing Air Park here. I'll be at 3,000 feet. Their elevation is 855, so I'll be plenty high to clear them, but I'll let them know I'm going across. And then when I get to this circle here, this perimeter here, which is 26 nautical mile radius from YYZ, Toronto, if you look over here, in this little block here, it's Class E airspace from 700 feet above ground level to 3,500 feet above sea level. So I'm going to be at 3,000 feet over here. I'll be fine. And by the time I get to this inner circle, which is 20 nautical mile radius from Toronto, it looks like if I go back around here a little bit, I've got to be beneath the 2,500 foot above sea level mark. And that'll give me the ability to travel that airspace with these are called transition areas, and I don't need to talk to any kind of tower. But I do need to, because my line will be right coming over Newmarket, just to the east of Aurora, and then my destination will be at Wilcox Lake. These are what they call common frequency areas. As a matter of fact, they extend all the way up to Kempenfelt Bay. So a common frequency area through a transition zone means that I need to broadcast my position reports on a certain frequency, and that way other aircraft in the area know where I am. And I believe that's 122.9. As a matter of fact, if I go to my scratch pad, common frequency here, I got a little note here, Newmarket, Aurora, Wilcox Lake, 122.9. So that's what I'd be broadcasting on. Go back to the map. Anyway, so I'm going to land there at Wilcox Lake, and I'm just outside of Buttonville control zone area. Anywhere in that area, you have to talk to the tower, but I won't be that far down. And then I'll have a little visit, and then maybe I'll head back up, and I'll probably go in a different direction, but I haven't figured that out yet. Anyway, Forflight is one of the tools. Another tool that is very helpful is another website here, different website. If I can get my code put in there. And it would be Windy.com. One-handed operation. It's hard to do. So windy.com. So I don't know why this thing isn't showing any. It's not bright, but anyway, I'll look at that later. Yeah, so what else can I show you on Forflight? You can record your flight, hit the record button, it'll monitor your track and your altitude, and later on you can send that to a Facebook account or a a website that you can replay it and see exactly where you went and how high you were and your track and everything like that. And see, I don't have any navigation instruments on this airplane. You know, vertical speed indicator, airspeed, and altimeter. And right here we are at 580 elevation. So right about actually we're at 600 because I'm up off the lake. We're at 600 right here. And I don't have any VORs or navigation equipment other than Forflight, which is beautiful because if you look at the bottom here, it'll give me my ground speed. It'll give me my GPS altitude, which is showing 592. I put it at 600, but it's about the same, give or take. Vertical speed, my bearing to the next. I can actually change. I can actually add or subtract in some of the things I see at the bottom of the screen there. But oh yeah, and then also up here, if I hit this, I can go to a Google Earth view and actually see in reality, my what you would see on Google Earth. Okay, now I don't like to use that when I'm flying, but you can also do other things in it. Now you can pick up, all kinds of different things. And I'm not the most knowledgeable person and versed person on Forflight, but it certainly is user-friendly to me. And then, you do a little reading and you do some trial and error, and you are able to use it as a beautiful tool instead of pulling a chart out. These things are accepted. I do have to carry a chart with me, a paper chart, should I lose power to this, but it's never happened, and I don't anticipate it happening. I don't go flying for any more than usually 2 hours, 1 hour to 2 hours, sometimes less. And yep. Let's say I wanted to add something to the route. Let's say I wanted to go to Lake St. John. I would just add that to the route. And then if you look, it'll replot another track over to Lake St. John. And then if I wanted to go home from there, I would just hit home base here, add to route, bring me back home. Now if I want to know exactly what these legs are, how long these legs are, so the first leg from home base to Lake Wilcox, it's 174 degrees magnetic, 60 statute miles long, distant, and it's going to use 3.9 gallons of fuel. This thing burns 4 gallons an hour, so that's 51 minutes. That's why it's burning 3.9. 60 statute miles. What's this here? Yeah, I'm going to use 3.9 gallons because it takes 5.5 gallons for taxi and takeoff. That's why it's figuring that in there. Anyway, the next leg would be to Lake St. John from Lake Wilcox. 21 degrees magnetic, 111 statute miles. It's going to use 5.7. Sorry, that will be the total. It'll be 111 statute miles since I left home before I get there. Total fuel consumption will be 5.7 gallons. It'll take an hour and 19 minutes to go and do the 2 legs. And that particular leg is 51 statute miles long. It'll burn 1.9 gallon. Take 28 minutes to get from Lake Wilcox to Lake St. John. And also from Lake St. John to home, 292 degrees magnetic. And the other thing is, if you want to know exactly, you just put 2 fingers on the screen like that, and you can measure the distance between 2 points. So if I do, we can read it here. Let's say I wanted to do that. I wanted to go from there to there. It's 77 degrees magnetic heading going that way. It's going to be 20.2 statute miles. 13 minutes for that leg at 90 miles an hour. And then the reverse track is shown at 257 degrees magnetic. And the same numbers. So touch the screen and get rid of that. Now if I wanted to actually see the key on the chart, I just go out a little bit here and then zoom in. Here's what an actual chart face looks like. It's a Toronto VNC, scale is 1 to 500,000. And if I go down here and I need to know what any of those little symbols on the chart are, I just zoom in here. And most of them I know, but so here you have a VFR route, and it refers you to the AIP, Aeronautical Information Publication, to look at what that means. And in this case, I can show you where there's an example of that. So you go down to Buttonville here. You see here these diamond-shaped lines, and what they say on the chart right here is aircraft transiting to and from Buttonville Airport follow that route. So if you're coming from the north or from Buttonville to the north, if you're coming and going to Buttonville Airport, that's the track they want you to follow, which is right near the highway, the 404. And then you can peel out in any direction. So I'm coming from the north, but I'm not going to Buttonville. I'm going to Wilcox Lake. So I'm going to use the common frequency area, and I'm going to identify myself and state my position on the way down here, and then I'm going to land right there. So, and if you want to see airspace, let's see here. This will actually show you, it'll highlight airspace and that when it turns blue, but I guess I'm too far zoomed in. So if I just touch the screen there, Southern Ontario low-level airspace. All right. Let's see here. There's Toronto Pearson. Anyway, I think I've talked enough.